Hi everyone. Okay, so it's been a while. I first want to say thank you for enjoying the last couple of videos I've made, especially the 2 video games that I reviewed. Honestly, I got a bit shy and I put YouTube down, kind of getting in my own way. On top of that, I also made a career change and it started off pretty rough. But I've been adjusting and I've made some time to create more videos of things I find interesting. So let's jump into today's video. I recently watched Amelie, a French film directed by, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounce this, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, and released in 2001. Centered around a young, beautiful woman who lives a quiet and introverted life until one day she discovers a mysterious box hidden in her bathroom wall. Upon opening, she finds many small artifacts of someone's childhood, a memory box. Determined to do the right thing, she begins looking for the person so she can return the forgotten box. This wonderful act leads Amelie to continue doing nice things for other people in her life until unexpected love finds her. In an article published by A-Frame, Jean-Pierre Jeunet spoke about the purpose of his film. I saw that my very first note for the film was, it has to be positive. I wanted to make something positive. It speaks about generosity. Amelie doesn't want anything in return. She does what she does for free. And I think that's a very strong idea because everybody simultaneously thinks that human beings are the worst pieces of shit on the planet, and also that every human being has some good in them too. The film speaks on that, and there are also ideas in it about the small details of life, and those resonate with people. This is why I love Amelie and the purpose of her journey. She wants to do something good and continue the path of virtue without asking to be acknowledged for all the good she's doing. In a book called Personality Types by Don Richard Riso with Russ, Hudson, they describe in detail a system called the Enneagram, which is a personality system that consists of 9 types. I have posted a brief summary of each number. Just in case you're interested, you can pause the video and go through them. And even though the Enneagram is not widely accepted in psychology, the book mentions it has been used by many dating back to the BC times. A guide not to put people in a box, but understand the box you have created for yourself. To discover what makes us important, interesting, and dangerous. To acknowledge the unconscious behaviors we display on a daily basis. How our childhood experiences molded us into the adult that we are now, and the effects that our caregivers had on us. While many do not accept the Enneagram, learning about the system can be fun and interesting. You can learn a lot about yourself to understand why you might be stuck in unhealthy patterns and how you can grow into a much healthier person. In another book called The Road Back to You by Ian Morgan Cron and Suzanne Stabile, they explain how we have a dominant personality and we cannot just delete or replace it with a new one, but to help us not get stuck to a one-dimensional character, to embrace all 9 personalities, access the gift of them, in order to lead us to wholeness. This video is not to teach the Enneagram, but to show these personalities embodied through characters in movies. I find it interesting, and it gives me a different outlook on character development. In my opinion, I think Amelie's personality is perfectly aligned to a type 2, the helper. In the book Personality Types, the authors describe a healthy two as very healthy twos are as altruistic as human beings can be. They are unself-conscious about their goodness, not letting their right hand know what their left hand is doing. They have immense reservoirs of goodwill and are absolutely delighted at the good fortune of others. These actions are shown throughout the entirety of the film. Let's start with the obvious one and the character that inspired Amelie to begin this journey. Dominique Portodeux. I hope I didn't butcher that. As I mentioned before, Amelie finds a memory box that was hidden in her bathroom. She lays awake that night and thinks of returning it to its owner. She believes that this will lead her to becoming a regular do-gooder. I believe this is what makes Amelie a type 2. When she manages to find the owner, she decides to return the box without him knowing she was the one that found it. He starts crying once he realizes what he's going through. All his forgotten childhood treasures. This act of kindness has moved him so much that he decides to reach out to his daughter, who he hasn't spoken to in years, and get to know his grandchild, who he hasn't met. Through their entire interaction, she just listens, never once revealing the surprise that she was behind the creation of this special moment. The second character is unknown. From the film, we know he is blind, using a white cane to get around the city. We also see him buying items at the cafe where Amelie works and listening to music in the metro station. Amelie rushes to help him cross, but also to enlighten his day. She starts describing in such detail everything that surrounds him, all the beautiful things that most don't have time to notice. When they arrive at the station, she says goodbye, and you see the stranger look up at the sky and a beam of light radiates. Even though we do not see much of this character, he is another person that is moved by Amelie's actions. The third character is her father, Raphael Poulin. After the death of his wife, his life stopped there. He never really left the house. He never made friends or even new memories with Amelie. He was determined to get her father enthusiastic about his life again. He kept a gnome around the garden that was his only source of joy. Until one night, she decided to steal it and send it off with her friend who worked as a flight attendant. Her friend would bring back pictures of the gnome posing around different travel destinations. Raphael couldn't figure out if it was a joke or if he was losing his mind. However, at the end of the film, Raphael packs up his bags and takes a cab to the airport. Her plan worked. Getting her dad to continue living for himself was crucial to her. She didn't want to see him pass away sad, miserable, and lonely. In my opinion, I think these last two characters are super important because not only were they affected positively by Amelie, but they were also a great significance in Amelie's own life. Returning back a good act of kindness through the form of a friendship and partnership. Let's start with Raymond Dufayet. We learn that this character has not stepped outside his home due to a condition of brittle bones, which is why they call him Glassman. He tells her that the only thing he really does is paint the luncheon of the boating party, which he has done for over 20 years. He mentions how it's always been difficult to capture the expression of the girl with the glass of water. She's in the middle, but yet outside. Which Amelie responds, maybe she's different. Throughout the film, Amelie sends him tapes of very positive and heartwarming messages, sharing a bit of the outside world, something different every time. Nino Quincompa is introduced looking for abandoned photos underneath a photo booth. It's the first moment we see Amelie start feeling nervous around a person. In the film, we discover that Nino collects photography in a scrapbook. One particular person stands out, a mysterious man with the same expression. Amelie wonders who it is. Amelie, being a type 2 helper, knows she has feelings for him. However, she never lets her feelings get in the way of a good deed. Instead, she discovers the identity of the person Nino has in his book and makes a plan for Nino to discover him all by himself. There in the moment, as Nino makes the discovery that he always wanted, Amelie gets the courage to go and ask him out, but he is gone. It's too late. At the end of the film, Amelie is sad and broken by the missed opportunity with love. However, from all the good she has done, she has made a friend, someone who wants to see her as happy as she has done for others. Rafael. He starts giving her advice on how she is strong, and if she doesn't give the heart what it wants, she will live a life of emptiness. So he tells her to go get Nino. But obviously Nino is already at her door. And I think this is what makes Amelie a type 2, the helper. It's a happy ending for someone that asks for nothing in return. Their unconditional love allows twos to love without concern for themselves and without necessarily being loved in return. Getting a return on their love is not what matters to them. If you haven't watched the film, I highly recommend it. But that's it. Thanks for watching, and please like and subscribe. Bye!